Hello and welcome to the Graphene Report, episode number 2. My name is Ben Collins with Camellia Carbon, and I like to talk about graphene and graphene-related products and the community. So let's get right into it with a story that's been circulating in the news. It even made NPR, which is adding graphene to silly putty to create a super sensor. So let's find out more about what's really going on here.
When you took the composite, the silly putty with graphene in it, and you squashed it or deformed it in any way, its electrical resistance would change dramatically. So that was really interesting because we knew from previous work that that's the basis of an electromechanical sensor. The basis of a sensor which can measure deformation by giving an electrical readout. So we found that when the sensor is held up here to the carotid artery, that pulsing of that artery can actually be detected and can be read out in an electrical resistance change. So we can measure the pulse, which gives a measure of the heart rate, but the sensor is sensitive enough that we can also get the blood pressure out of that. And that's actually quite important. We can measure blood pressure, of course we can, but it's not straightforward to measure it continuously, and that's what this sensor can do. So we believe that there will be a lot of applications in medical devices and, for example, in diagnostics.
Okay, I'm not sure if you could see the little copper wire there that was going to the computer, but what we have is a kind of new product that was developed by Amber. This is a research materials company in Ireland, very serious, well-funded, and I think that's one of the reasons that their story got traction. I think this has some real potential. I don't like to talk about potential products, but in this case, I really think there's something going here, something that you can reproduce, something you can actually test and use yourself. So moving on to a story that came out, a press release from Graphene Nano. Graphene Nanochem is a company that's been around for a while, and I want to reiterate, I am not a financial advisor, and I really don't even encourage you to invest in graphene-related stocks. But congrats to them, they actually made a sale worth $360,000. And what did they sell? They sold a product which is basically a lubricant for the oil field drilling process, so that a lubricant doped with graphene will do a lot of good things for the drill bit. That's my interpretation of this story. They have a product called Plat Drill or Smart Fluid. And what that does is basically improve on an existing product in the marketplace, because you have to pour a lot of this stuff into the drill hole as you're drilling to prevent heat, to prevent corrosion, and so on. And a lot of those chemicals they use today are really toxic, not good for the environment. And this is actually more environmentally friendly, which aligns with our goal of being smarter about our carbon use. So the big story today is all about Hobby King and the Turnigy graphene lipo battery. So if you haven't heard of hobbyking.com, they are a dominant player in the RC toy market, and they have been for many years. And I've done a lot of research on these people and their products because I am not an RC enthusiast, but at the very least, they have a product on the market now which is reasonably priced, and there's actually some legitimate performance going on. So I'd like to just start with this video here, which is a promo video from back in, I think, February of last year, where they introduced a line of products called Turnigy Graphene. And this product is touted as having graphene in it, and also they went out in the field and did some testing, and you can see from the results that these batteries are better, and that's kind of significant. During their testing, they decided to use similar powered batteries in the same device. Now, it wasn't extremely scientific, but it was a decent test, and I know they're trying to sell these batteries, but let's have a listen to the difference between the batteries. When I search graphene right now on YouTube, there are a lot of videos touting the potential of graphene and trying to test these batteries in real time. Turnigy is not actually the only player on the market. There is a product called Infinity, there's one called Pulse, but I'm going to stick to this one. I just think that a new category of battery called graphene lipo is taking the RC world by storm. Yes, there's a lot of hype. I'm warning you about the hype factor. However, I've done enough reading and research as a non-professional RC flyer person, and I can tell you that in most cases, the graphene battery outperforms the standard product. There's some mixed reviews, but for the most part, my recommendation is to seriously follow this company called Hobby King. So who is Hobby King? And how are they one of the most legitimate makers of the first graphene battery product regularly available on the marketplace? Well, it turns out that this is a really interesting company, I believe, because you have a base company of Americans, I believe, and they have a direct connection to Hong Kong and manufacturing. Specifically, this company called Hextronic, which has been developing high-end RC market products since 2003. And this is basically an example of when companies are smart about their overseas manufacturing. And I think in this case, there's a lot of accountability, warranties, customer support, which you don't always get from products that come out of Asia. So I think that this is a company to watch. And I believe that there could be a very serious disruption in the RC market for a couple of reasons. So one of them is the amount of recharges. You can have 600 cycles in one of these batteries as opposed to 1 to 200 cycles in a traditional lithium battery. So what is LiPo anyway? I had to look that up because I kind of made an assumption that it involved materials other than a standard lithium battery, but it's actually just a standard lithium battery that is in a package, so it's more like a pouch. A channel called Limitless Aerial produced a video of a teardown of one of these batteries, so thanks to them. And let's have a quick look at the meat of the video where he actually gets into it.
This looks like the cathode, and this may be what they're saying about the graphene. I don't think this is graphene, though. I don't think that this is a graphene material. I think that this is just the cathode, which I believe with these batteries is a cobalt cathode material.
So I'm going to talk over him for a moment while he continues to take it apart, and he doesn't think this is graphene. Now, the product is clearly stating that there's a 0.335 millimeter layer of graphene in the battery. I've seen this teardown before of a LiPo battery, and this is what they look like in a standard form. The first time I saw one of these, I imagined the entire thing was made of some kind of graphene paint object, you know. But no, I think what's happening here is that the first thing he actually pulled out was, in fact, coated with graphene. We don't know that for sure. Hobby King does not want to say exactly how the graphene is applied, but it's fairly legitimately somewhere in there, because if it were just hype, I wouldn't be making this video. I've watched enough performance videos of the Turnigy device to say it's real. And we should pay attention because this is a significant development in the world of the graphene marketplace. The consequences of a significantly improved battery technology are disruptive for Hobby King, certainly, because they get to sell a bunch of batteries as people replace them. And of course, other people are going to come and manufacture the same technology if there's real value there. This is really one of the first times I've seen a product category using graphene that could meet that amazing sweet spot of disruption where there's a lot of demand. And I think that's happening here, and people are feeling like it's hype. People are saying it's too good to be true, and in some cases that's right. But in this case, I think you're seeing real innovation in the marketplace, and it makes sense because this is very high performance. You're talking racing, maximum output, and one of the most important elements of the graphene battery's feedback that I've been learning about is it doesn't quote unquote sag. That means that you have the power that you want when you put it to accelerate. It doesn't sag. You get the whole power throughout the entire life of the battery charge. And that is significant value. If you can know the difference as an RC enthusiast between the two batteries, you will not go back. So I think that's a big deal, and also it could affect a huge range of batteries. If that you can apply some graphene tech to existing quality lithium ion batteries, then the sky's the limit. A whole lot of different types of applications could suddenly have a wave of replacements as people upgrade to graphene lipo batteries or graphene lithium batteries. So that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Ben Collins. I'm with CameliaCarbon.com. I'll be trying to do these weekly, so please subscribe, like, and share. And also, I'll be featuring any cool graphene products that come around, so don't hesitate to let me know if you find one. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Happy New Year, by the way.